Gina, you said before that games like this, you're surprised it hasn't happened more often, yet we're still shocked when they see it. What did St. John's do really well tonight that maybe they didn't do in the first game or haven't been doing the last couple of weeks?
Two things. First, St. John's, from the opening tip, played like their life depends on every game for the rest of the season. That they need to win every single game out, pretty much, to make sure that they are in the NCAA tournament. And that's what it looked like. And it would have been a sin if they lost that game, to be honest with you. You know? Because they played so well and so hard, and they played like they were the better team. And they were. So why did they only score 38 against Marquette? Because their two best players went 5 for 36 or whatever the hell it was. And tonight they made shots. They made big shots when they had to make big shots. So when you play a team that's playing for their life against a team that came out, you know, we're entitled to the Big East tournament. I mean, to the Big East championship, you know? So each team got what they deserved, 100%. 100%.
Is that a concern, Geno, the way your players are approaching games right now?
No, it's who they are. And, you know, it's the downside of playing at UConn for some kids. You have to show up every night and bring it. That's it. And not everybody's capable of doing that. It's just reality right now, you know? What? So, you know, sometimes you can look at stats and you can try to rationalize whatever you want. But I think it goes beyond that, you know. You can always make stats whatever you want them to be. You know, St. John's bench scored 29 points. That's a stat. And what do we get up 8 in the third quarter? And then we do what we do a lot, but we kind of overcome it, is then we just start self-inflicting, you know, punishment on ourselves. So we can't go from 8 to 12 or 8 to 15 or, you know, instead it goes 8 to tie score. There's a point in time now, this late in the season, where you have to really find something else inside you, because your tank is running dry almost, you know? So you got to really, really, really mentally, you know, get yourself in a place where you can still function. And you say, well, we did it Saturday. You know, we did it against Creighton, but we didn't do it tonight. And you say, well, how How would you explain that? I think that's probably normal. Because in a normal world, you would also do what Joe did. You would go to your bench, and some guys come off the bench and pick up some guys who aren't playing real good that are starters. And we don't have that right now. You know? So I think I said this before. Nothing that this team does surprises me. No matter how good we play, I'm not surprised because we can. And no matter how bad we look, I'm not surprised because we can. There you have it.
You know, you've got 2 games left in the regular season. Those problems that you were just kind of alluding to, do you think those are still fixable, or are they just things that you have to figure out how to work around at this point?
Yeah. At this time of the year, nothing's fixable. You are what you are. You know, because if it could be fixed, it would have been fixed already. So you are what you are. I remember one coach one time was being interviewed the night before or the day before the NCAA championship game, and their team was shooting as a team 58% from the free throw line. And the media guy said, "Do you think your bad free throw shooting is going to catch up to you?" And he said, "Well, better hurry up. Our last game's tomorrow." By the time you get to this point, you are what you are. And this is who we are. We can be what we were Saturday, or we can be what we were today.
You guys have scored under 70 points now in 5 straight games. Just what do you attribute to, the drop off there in the offensive struggles?
I would say mostly not enough. I guarantee we didn't have it. Oh. We've been getting 10, sometimes 11, 12, 13 less shots than the other team. That's a part of it. And getting out rebounded a lot. Second chance points we're giving up. Not as many transition baskets. I mean, there's reasons why we're not scoring points. This might be the worst team I've ever coached at getting a 3-point play the old-fashioned way. Score through contact, get fouled, make a free throw. Pay attention a lot. You remember one? I don't. It's been a while. There is one. It's been a while. Maybe Lou's had a couple. That's about it. So it's things like that, the ability to play physically. The ability to play physically. The game at Marquette was very physical. The Marquette. Creighton game's not as physical. Villanova game's not as physical. Tonight was exceptionally physical game. So I think our players have to understand. And from a coaching standpoint, I think we've done a shitty job of getting that point across. And, you can give me a million reasons why, all legit. But the bottom line is, we just physically are not. We don't respond like I like in these games. The Marquette game and today's game specifically. I think physically we didn't respond. And St. John's attacked us. Hmm. We got 2 games left. And we'll see what happens. We got tough on Saturday, and then we got the last one on Monday. Could lose them both, or we could win them both, or go 1-1. That's what I said before the Marquette Villanova game, right?
Usually you go to practice, you practice well, you kind of have always been through the years really confident, okay, we're going to play really well tonight, and most of the time you do. Do you have any idea when you come out in the court a few minutes before the game starts what you're going to say, what you're going to get from your team?
No. I have zero idea. I just show up, watch the game, and then try to manage it as it's being played. Because we, as individuals on our team, are like that. So if you're going to be like that as an individual, of course your team is going to be like that. And when we're up, we're really up. And when we're down, we're really down. So, for the longest time, we were able to find that spot that we were comfortable in, But it's now, I'm always one to think that, you're not ever going to be the best you can be, and you're never going to be the worst. You can't play. You could probably play worse than we played tonight. It'd be hard to do, but you probably could. And there's times when we play great where you could say, well, we probably could have played even better if we hadn't turned it over X number of times or whatever. So this is it. This is who we are right now. That's it. No more, no less. This is who we are. And we got to deal with it. Go to practice, prepare for DePaul, go play DePaul, and see what happens. See how we come out, see how we play. Yeah, we're kind of like a lot of other teams in the country. And it's different. Well, it's different because you don't have options. That's why it's different. There's been other times when, we've had guys who, for whatever reason, don't show up or don't play well, whatever, but it's easy. You just grab somebody, put them in, and changes the game, and, you have options. We don't have any options. We need points. And we don't have guys on the floor that can score. Guys on the bench that can score points. So those guys are helpful, provided we have a lead and we're playing well and the buckets are going in, then, they can go in. But when we need points, we need people to put the ball in the basket. Right now, that's what we're missing the most.
You mentioned yourself that the team has all these self-inflicting. They get into these just runs where they're self-inflicting themselves with all these wounds. What is causing that? Is that because of the lack of depth, or what do you think is the reason for that?
Your guess is as good as mine. To be honest with you. Your guess is as good as mine. What? What would make somebody do something that goes completely against any basketball anything? I don't even know what the word is. And you just shake your head and you go, yeah. You see it? How do you do that? I don't know. And that's the frustrating part. Coaches are supposed to have all the answers, but this is one of those years where, it's always in the back of your mind, even when, you're playing great, everything's going great, shots are dropping, people are really confident. You always know in the back of your mind that this can't last. It's not sustainable. I use that word a lot. You know, it's not sustainable. You know. So, I mean, some things are complicated. This isn't very complicated. I mean, it's you play well and you have a chance to win the game. You play as hard and you're as competitive as the other team, you have a chance to win the game. And there were long stretches where we were. And there were too many stretches where we were not.
Geno, going back to late January, I think a stretch of like 8 games, it seems like it's just been one tug of war after another. You've won some of them, you've lost some of them. I think you were alluding to the fact that it's kind of a unique experience around here, what you guys have, what this stretch has been like this month. What has it been like for you, and is there value in it if you're able to get through it okay?
Is there value in it? Sure. I think so. I think every game that you play, you know, if you're a competitive kid, you know, you're at UConn, and every game you play, you come out of that game, there's value in something you just took out of that game, if you choose to. And a somewhat normal, rational person will come out of a game where they play great and could go home and go, this is why. Next game, play lousy, don't compete, or don't impact the game. And they go home and they go, here's why. It's normal behavior. We all do it. What happens when you go home and you have no idea why you played well? And then when you didn't play well, you have no idea why you didn't play well. There's a lot of that going on in the world, in the world that us coaches live in today. You show up and you see what you got that night. Basically, that's where we are. It's fun, right? You know? If we hadn't done what we've done the last 150 years, this would be like normal behavior. You know? Lived in this world, right? 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93. Lived in that world for a long time. Didn't know I'd go back. But it's okay. You have a question?
Yeah. You mentioned, this team not playing as physical as you'd like. I mean, how much of a factor do you think just all the injuries and health issues kind of play into that mentality, or is there something that you think is kind of a cause of that?
I think that's a big part of it. Sure. I think some of it's mentality too, but I think those things are part of it. Absolutely. Absolutely, they're a part of it. Yeah. No question. But let's not confuse the issue here, right? I mean, St. John's played about as well as I've seen a team play against us. And there were a lot of chances where they could have given us the game by making the mistakes that they didn't make, by missing the shots they didn't miss, by not getting the loose balls that they did get. So the unfortunate situation here is, whenever this happens, it's UConn loses, why? Not St. John's won, why? Because St. John's did this, and this. But, when it's Connecticut, it's always UConn lost, why? And so I think we should, after we say that, UConn sucked, why? Then you can put your own spin on it. you have to make sure you say St. John's won because, and give them the credit that they deserve. And not let them go home and go, oh, the only reason we won is because UConn sucked. No, we could have sucked and they still would have lost. They didn't play as well as they did. I think sometimes that gets lost when people come to UConn to play us.